to another episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast.
We'd like to thank Advantage Anywhere for sponsoring this episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. At Advantage Anywhere, we understand senior living communities. Our customizable CRM and automation system is designed to help you convert more leads into move-ins faster, easier, and with less manual effort. With personalized follow-up automations, your team can focus on what matters most, spending time with prospects to get more move-ins. Visit www.advantageanywhere.com to see how we can help you get more move-ins with less stress.
I'm Julie Podewitz. I'm here solo again today for the second in the series, Recap 2024, what the team and I have seen and experienced from others through our journey working with hundreds of those of you that serve older adults in senior living and multifamily, customers in multifamily. And just a few observations. And real first, though, if you have not watched Netflix Man in the House, I think it's Man in the House, Ted Danson, run right now and listen to or watch the Netflix. I think it's still on the top 10 as of this recording. It's December 11th, 2024. Man in the House. Get it, watch it. It's wonderful. It's a heartwarming, fun, and a wonderful depiction of life in retirement community, which we need more of. We need more of what's truly happening and how much residents are cared about and cared for. And the executive director, the woman who plays her, oh my gosh, love it, love it, love it. So that's my my pop culture recommendation for you today. A couple things. All right, a couple observations or things that have stuck with me for 2024. First is polite persistence. Sales is not being pushy. We hear this over and over and over. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be pushy. If you don't want to be pushy, don't be pushy. Polite persistence. Polite persistence means you care a lot. The customers reached out to you, or customers in your database has reached out at some point. You're politely persisting because it's your responsibility as the salesperson to reach out to your customer, not your customer's responsibility to reach out to you. So sales is not being pushy, polite persistence. And that is a Dresden term, one of my team members, polite persistence. And oh man, have I grabbed onto that one, polite persistence. Oh my goodness, discovery, discovery, discovery. You know, I don't think anyone listening to this is shocked or surprised to hear that discovery is still lacking. It's still lacking in our business. And I don't think anyone doesn't know how important it is. So if you're unaware of what discovery is, or if you've not been trained or you haven't a coaching or you're new to sales, discovery is typically the initial conversation with a customer, and it is getting to know the customer. Why did they call? Why did they reach out? What's on their mind? What's pressing on their mind? What challenges do they have? What are their, what are the influencers thinking? What's typical day look like? All those quality questions that prompt discussion. And really it's about getting to know your customer. Sales, while it literally is transactional, if you have a service, an item for sale that a customer may need or want, and there's an exchange of funds for that, that is sales. It's a transaction. But if we're staying transactional in our mindset in what we're doing and working with our customers, you're going to lose out the majority of the time. We've all heard the tip of the iceberg. Transaction is the tip of the iceberg. What's really happening, what really matters, what makes impact is what you don't see. And you're not going to see it or experience it, hear it if we don't we don't do what needs to happen to uncover what's under the surface. We used to call it drill down, and it's like, oh, how old is that term? And I'm not going to use that term anymore. Plus, it sounds kind of painful. So discovery. So that's what discovery is. And when you first engage in sales, especially in senior living, hopefully you have a training. And one of the very first things that we learn is the importance of discovery, that we don't feature dump amenities and services and talk too much, etc. And likely anyone listening to this has been through training or does training, but yet what we experience is that it still lacks. We're still feature dumping. We're not asking questions. There's very little discovery really happening. My advice here is to, until it becomes a habit, really to have something that prompts, whether it's sticky note, whether it's, some questions, whether it's something that you're writing on, that initial question, and you practice when someone says, I need some help, or I'd like some pricing, or you're making that phone call, to not start with, how can I help you today? You start with that statement of fact. I understand you were researching options for your mom. Tell me what's on your mind, or what got you kind of started in this path, so that the conversation is turned towards your customer, and that prompts the open-ended questions. It prompts the process in the right way. And that we slow down, and you practice it and practice it and practice it until it becomes a habit. And that discovery, we're putting the notes in the system, and that really leaning on that story and that discovery entire through the customer's journey, right, through its entirety. So that's my second observation. My third one is cadence to cadences. One is a cadence to connect with the customer on the front end. So we talked about speed to lead and being one of the first, or the first to reach out. The likelihood of reaching someone that first attempt is low. So you got to keep trying. And that's that cadence to connect. And if you're waiting a long time before that second attempt, the likelihood of connecting gets lower and lower and lower and lower. So to set a routine schedule of heavy on the front end, of attempts, daily, and in some way, shape, or form, but maybe go to every other day, every 3 days, to continue to attempt to connect. And the other cadence is post-tour. So what we're seeing is gaps, really long periods of time, even right after the tour, weeks and weeks. Even no matter what a customer says, if they're 5 years away, or certainly if they want it today, we tend to respond to that. But if they're, a month out, 5 years out, you want to set and stick to a schedule, routine, follow-up. What is the routine? And you want to tighten the time frame. So your follow-up isn't, I'm just checking in to see if what your decision is. It can be, thank you so much for considering us, or thank you for taking the time, to visit with us yesterday. And maybe just ask them the question, or what their impressions were, to continue the conversation. If you wait a long, long time, the rhythm is, well, there is no rhythm, right? There's the relationship, it just stopped. You want to continue the relationship, continue nurturing, if you will, your customer, meet them where they are. And if they're not, quote unquote, ready at the bottom of the funnel, where are they? Just dialogue, just ask them a couple questions and hear what they have to say, and do some reflection. But waiting because you really don't know what to say, or they're not ready to move, and we wait for months and months and months, just makes things that much more difficult. It's hard on you. It's super hard on the customer. They're likely to gone someplace else. They've changed your mind. The things got worse, and they needed long-term care, or you just can't reach them again because they lost interest. Okay, so Cadence to connect, staying on a rhythm. We're still seeing big gaps there. And then finally, um, this is just something that came to my mind. They're in pop culture, you say, like, if you're breaking up with somebody, it's not you, it's me. You know, well, in sales, it you really flip that on its ear. It's not you, right? So you think, oh, it's not you, it's me. When in sales, don't take things personally. So when somebody is in a bad mood or someone says something to you, or they're not ready right now, or they don't pick up the phone, it's not you, it's them. So separating yourself from the reaction or response or lack thereof of another person, what can be challenging, because we're on one hand saying, let's emotionally connect and really care about our customers, which you do, and you care about your team members and care about one another, and emotionally connect and build relationships. And on the flip side, it's like you can't emotionalize business. And if you do, you just get so wrapped up, and it's exhausting, and it's depleting, and it's defeating, and it's an emotional quagmire. So it's continue to work on, as I continue to work on it as well, is not emotionalizing the moods of others, the schedule of others, whether they're ready to talk to you today or not, whether they hang up on you, whether they're again, they're not in a very good mood. Maybe they said something that isn't pleasant, or maybe it was said in a way that kind of rubs you a little wrong. It very to catch yourself, to not emotionalize that. We're human, we're gonna have reactions, we're gonna get frustrated, gonna get upset sometimes, we're gonna get bummed out, feel a little down. But the more we can really work on not emotionalizing all of that, the better chance you have of bouncing back, getting back in the zone, if you will, getting back into the rhythm of what you need to be doing to continue moving things forward. Those are some of my reflections here, 2024, and I will look forward to our next quick solo podcast. I hope you do too. If there's any other topics or guests of interest, please message me, or you can reach me on julie@growyouroccupancy.com. Until next time, thank you for listening to the podcast.
We'd like to thank Advantage Anywhere for sponsoring this episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. At Advantage Anywhere, we understand senior living communities. Our customizable CRM and automation system is designed to help you convert more leads into move-ins faster, easier, and with less manual effort. With personalized follow-up automations, your team can focus on what matters most, spending time with prospects to get more move-ins. Visit www.advantageanywhere.com to see how we can help you get more move-ins with less stress.